Ladies and gentlemen, the burning question is, did John Fury ever discover why Tony Bellew was being so cheeky? Probably not, but you may have seen a video over the last, was it 2 days ago, where John confronted Carl Frampton. Frampton's sin, cardinal sin, was to give an opinion that Jake Paul would beat John's son Tommy. And that's just an opinion, you know. Both Jake Paul and Tommy Fury have looked, well, they are ranked novices, and they've looked like it as well. Tommy Fury looked appalling in his, I think it was his last fight, absolutely appalling, like he'd never laced on a pair of gloves before. But Frampton gave the opinion, yeah, I think Jake Paul would probably beat Tommy. And John weren't happy. No, he wasn't happy at all. You can't have an opinion that opposes my son. Well, John, I know you're not watching this video because it's a tiny channel, and I don't know whether you even watch YouTube videos, but it's just an opinion, mate. It's just someone saying, I think this. Don't take it personally. Just because somebody has an opposing opinion doesn't mean they're your bloody enemy. You know what I mean? And this is kind of something that exists in society today. But now, having said that, of course, sometimes you'll come across someone who just believes in airy-fairy, out there, wacko, woo-woo nonsense. You know, I'm not religious to any degree. I know several people who are devout Christians and Muslims. I consider both the Quran and the Bible to be fiction, you know, fairy tales, with everything from very decent moral lessons to outrageous bigotry. Both those books, I've read both those books, and they contain, you know, both of the aforementioned and everything in between. So, but it doesn't mean that those religious people, those devout Muslims and Christians, are my enemies. And you know, I can't reason with them because, as someone once said, if you could reason with religious people or flat earthers or some of these wacko conspiracy theorists, there wouldn't be those people. If you reasoned with them, they wouldn't exist. So yeah, there are occasions when you've got to walk away and say, look, I just don't agree with you. You know, you believe that, you carry on, mate, you know, carry on. But having an opinion on a boxing match doesn't fall into that category. You know, it's called just, it's just having an opinion. It's just looking at something, seeing it, and saying, oh, I think this. You know, maybe I'm wrong. I do it. Obviously, all YouTubers do it all the time. I've given opinions. I was wrong about Jack Catterall, you know, being outclassed by Josh Taylor, you know. And I've been wrong 100 times before, and I'll be wrong 1,000 times before. I'll be wrong 1,000 in the future, I'm sure. It's, you know, keep an open mind. You listen to other people. But just because someone has an opposing view, which is, you know, based in some sort of reason and logic, they're not your enemy. They're not your... John, Carl Frampton isn't your enemy. It's quite funny, that video, you know, because John, this big bloke, and Carl, this little dwarf, you know, I'm turning my back on you. If John Fury got in my face and then turned his back on me, I'd be fucking delighted. But off toddles Carl down the hallway, you know. I thought at one point, he looked like an irate father chastising his son. I thought John was going to pull Carl's trousers down and give his bottom a good spanking. Yeah, it's hilarious. But yeah. Yeah, I just wanted to say a few things about that because I think it's so silly, so stupid, really, you know. And Tommy Fury as well, when he was interviewed, well, I agree with my dad, and for Carl to pick against, you know, someone from his you know, his home nation, or, I mean, what's that got to do with anything? You know, just because you might get an English club fighter fighting a world-ranked fighter, what, you're going to pick the club fighter because he's from your town? I mean, come on, man, this is rubbish. Anyway, I just thought I'd mention that. I just thought it was really funny, that little incident. But John, what are we going to do with you, eh? And unfortunately, that attitude is prevalent in society, in modern day society, in all walks of life. You know, just go on the internet and read the comments on virtually any video. So much bullshit spouted. You got to sift through it, you know, to find the sensible stuff. Anyway, that's my little bit for today. Did you see that interview that John Fury, that little incident with Frampton that John Fury had? And don't forget, if you know why Tony Bellew was being so cheeky, answers on a postcard.